Hey, Don here. Okay, let me stop my audio over there on my preview. Back on one new stream today, working on Mom's PC upgrades or OS upgrades. Well, it was hardware and OS operating system upgrades, but I think all I'm going to really need is that new, bigger hard drive that I've already got in there. Hopefully, I'm going to do some. I've got Fedora 27 installed with Mate Desktop on it yesterday, and it's running okay. Pretty good for, well, the best I've seen any of the newer, Fedora distros run on a dual core. And I think that's, I guess I'll have to say it in every video, but it's an AMD dual core with 2 gig of RAM and 512 megabyte dedicated video card. And that video card, I think, is what makes the real difference. That I think that's that was pretty close to the fastest dual core AMD processor of its day. There, it was one of the faster ones. Because I've got another one that's I can't remember all the right names. I would say I'm wrong, but I got another one that definitely runs a lot slower. With the same amount of RAM, but it doesn't have a dedicated video card. It's using its onboard shared video, so that makes a huge difference. So anyway, and I've ran it on Windows 7. I've ran it on Fedora. Well, what I have on it now is Fedora 26, and I'm running XSE desktop because it didn't run good with. And then I've ran my Dell 1525 laptop. It's got 3 gig of RAM, 320 shared video memory, and it's a dual core Intel. And it just wouldn't run worth doodly on Fedora 26 with Mate Desktop or even XFCE. Just you start playing just simple thing. Just play YouTube. One of the most YouTube has become one of the most resource-intensive sites that I use. So it is probably the most resource-intensive, and I use it all the time. I like to watch videos and I like to make videos. So that's my benchmark site. And so she doesn't watch videos, like I can always say, and much at all. And the main thing is, if it can do that somewhat well, then she should be able to get on her, do things she needs to do, or word processing and printing and stuff. And of course, she can do that with just about anything. But shopping sites, some of them can have some heavy resource usage plugins on them and stuff. So. But yeah, it turns out, I kind of already figured this out at the very beginning. HTML5, when it was the coming thing and it wasn't even out yet, I started checking into it because I thought I was tired of messing with Flash. I hated how it would just bring your systems to a halt. Just use all the CPU power and everything. And I still was using it to watch things, but I wouldn't make any videos with it or anything back then, a few years ago. Even though FLV files, Flash video files, stream really well, and that's actually what is the default with OBS Studio, what I'm working with right now, and I'm using it because it actually streams the best and decent video quality once you're done. And MP4 would the machine can't handle it. This is a quad core with 4 gig of RAM, but it only has 256 megabyte of shared video memory. It's Lenovo i5, and it just couldn't handle it doing MP4s, and at 1080p, and that's what I wanted to do. So even though I won't keep going on about all my videos set up, but I tend to do that every time I think about something. I want to explain it, but that's not what my video is supposed to be about. What I'm supposed to get to work here. So let me just go ahead and get on the desktop then and log in. I've got it up and running. I've got KRFB with the remote desktop server up and running, and I haven't went to look, but it just started, work. I didn't have to install a separate server. I just installed KRFB and it worked. So I wonder if it's got its own server or if it's using something else or what, because when I installed it on my other machines, I already had Vino on there, and then I think I added TigerVNC and on one of them, and because what I remember, I think it was that AS Rock I put, let's go ahead and connect here. Hopefully it's going to work okay. There we go. Oh, I haven't changed the firewall on this thing. Sorry. Not firewall, screensaver. I haven't changed the screensaver, so it's still turning it into lock mode. But that's cool with this KRFB. If it does do that, you're not locked out. It just makes you lock in. So that's all right. I don't mind that. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to full screen on this, and I'm using. I meant to mention that I figured out something. I got to looking at the login screen there of this. Let's see, what is this one? Yeah, well, it's just called Remote Desktop Viewer, but well, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, it's the one I like the best. Its actual app name is something else, a little different. Anyway, it's. I guess I could do this and see. This is the one I like, Remote Desktop Viewer, but it's Vinagre, V-I-N-A-G-R-E. That's its name. But for some reason, ever since I jumped up from Fedora 23 to, and I did some testing with 24, but I never did. But once I installed 26 on up to 27, it suddenly. Well, that and you know, the viewers I used to use, like I used to use Vino as my server always. That was the one I liked. It was easy to. I could just install it and use the Genome 2 setup tool, which GUI tool, and just get it going. You know, but that's not around anymore, and I guess it's not now. I couldn't find it anyway. You know, Mate is the fork of Genome 2 that I use desktop, and I don't think it's in. I can't find it. And so anyway, I discovered that KRFB, a KDE app, will do it. Pretty similar to what I was used to. It's a little different, but cause it always puts in it regenerates a password every time, and I don't mind showing it because it's going to be changed every time. And also, even if you were to get through my firewalls and try to log into this machine while I'm making this video, I would have to say okay. It would pop up a notice and say okay. So you know, it's pretty slim chance anybody's gonna take control of this machine. That's not a challenge or an invitation. But anyway, I'm not too worried. But that's why, in case you wonder why I let that show up. At first I was worried about it, and then I realized, well, it always changes, and I don't like to use it anyway. I always put in an unattended access because it's really a pain. It's wonderful to have this KVM switch. I've got 4 ports, and I can switch from one machine to the other and control each machine with the same mouse and keyboard. But the pain about it is you know, if you're doing something like that, back and forth, and this switch is pretty old now. I bought it in 2000, 2002, something like that, and so it doesn't always want to. It's hard to get it to stop. Is the crazy thing about it. It just doesn't want to stop. It'll go past them, the ones you're trying to stop on, and you just kind of have to keep punching it until it finally stops. And it's like it's in automatic mode. Actually, it has an automatic mode. It's got electronics in it, and it's not just an analog switch. And it has a mode where you can punch a button, and that's maybe kind of why that happens. I mean, not that the button's on, but maybe that circuitry wants to take over. But it will sit there and just page through and stay on each machine for so many seconds. It's kind of so if you were, you know, if you were in a commercial environment and you just wanted to monitor machines, you know, what's going on in them, just be able to glance over and look at them, you know. Pretty cool. I've never really used it. I've turned it on a few times. I just never remembered it had that. But I don't know. Maybe that's why it does that. That's kind of silly, I guess. But for whatever reason, the switch has a tactile click, and you can feel it when it's in, push it in, you know, each time you push it in. But it doesn't get stuck in the middle or anything like that, as a switch would do when it's getting worn out. But, okay, let's quit jabbering along here. I've got 27 installed, and what I want to do is, well, first thing you always want to do when you install a new system is install the updates. Now, see if it'll show up. Go back to full screen here. I'm going ahead and use this one, and I'm going to check more into the different desktop viewers and see if this one does. I'm going to use it right now, and if it starts lagging on me and stuff, then I'll see about that. TigerVNC Viewer is the one that has done the best for me lately. I was going around and around about the newer changes in the software in the last couple of years, 3 or 4 years. That's not hovering right. When you put the mouse over that, it's supposed to, show you what it's got to tell you there, and it's not doing it. Let's see. Just don't want to do it. I wonder if that's because of my remote desktop viewer not working well. Let's click on that and see. That worked fine. Date and all that stuff. I don't have the temperature showing on here like I like to do. I didn't want to click on that because that'll open up Dragora. I'll right click on it. But if I left click, it'll open it up and start looking for updates. And I don't want to do my updates with this Dragora because usually your first updates almost always hang up. And it's better to just go ahead and do them in the terminal. And so that's what I wanted to do. Now, I don't think I'll be able to do it with that running. I'll probably have to exit it. I guess I can just quit it. I was thinking about taking it out of the startup, but I really would like to get automatic updates going at some point here. I think you can still do that. They kind of discourage it because sometimes things break, but I've been pretty lucky. Well, for one thing, I don't use the proprietary video drivers, and that's the thing that generally breaks your GUI when they get behind your kernel updates. So, and if you install Kmods and what's the other one, Ekmods, then usually you're fine with that anyway. If you'll install one or both, you generally always ended up with both of them. You really don't, depending on what kind of video card you have, you need either one or the other, but half the time I would have a hard time figuring it out, and I'd end up with putting them both on there, and then everything was fine. So I haven't had trouble like that since back in Fedora 14, 13, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days. But and long after that, I kind of got to where I never played. The only reason I did it is to have 3D support for a few games like flight. I used to play with this flight simulator thing. It's not a game; it's a flight simulator. And I got to where I didn't fiddle with that stuff, and I didn't need 3D anymore, really. So that was all I really needed it for. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and exit it because I know it's I think the last time I was on that Fedora 26 machine, it wouldn't let me run any DNF commands with that running. So I'm just going to open up this regular terminal here, and let's do SU so I can get rid of privileges. Got to be careful when you're typing. If you start, a lot of times what will happen to me is I won't pay attention to what it's asking for, and I'll start typing the password where it can be seen in the terminal. So instead of Yum update, it's DNF now, and I'm just going to get this update going, and then I'll go off into the other things. Now there's 874 megabytes of updates, and do I want to do it? Yes. And let's see. I guess I'm on remote desktop like I should be and everything. While it's doing its thing, I'll get my preview up and make sure I'm showing what I'm talking about here. And it doesn't take a super long time, but and probably this is actually faster because it takes that DNF Dragora would just now finished loading the available updates, and I'm already downloading them. So as much as I don't want to muck around in the command line all the time and get frustrated with things that don't work right because I don't I can't remember the commands, I can't type good. Some of these things that are a whole lot easier to do. I was listening to my deal, my preview. The things that some of this stuff is so much quicker and easier to do. And the big thing I do like about the command line is if you're not sure about what's going on, well, it'll give you most of the time anyway, it'll give you if it doesn't work, it'll give you the error messages. If it does work, it just goes back to the command prompt, and so that's okay. I mean, I finally got used to that, but I was used to GUIs telling you everything, you know, when I first started getting into Linux back in 05. But okay, so the updates are running. I'll just let it show the updates. I clicked off out of habit. I like to click away from it so that I can't jack it up by accident, hitting the keyboard keys and stuff. Especially when I'm jumping from one machine to the other, I can do that. I can tap on the wrong keyboard, you know, and stuff. Well, because I have a wireless keyboard and mouse set up here for my laptop, so I don't have to reach over there. I'm no good with that touchpad. I hate those things. I always use a mouse on a laptop. So a lot of times I'll be tapping on the wrong keyboard and stuff. Even though I'm, you know, with the KVM switch, you're not as likely to do that because you're only going to be able to tap on the machine that you're viewing. But with my main keyboard. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes, and yeah, these are the things, the kind of stuff I've already done, a lot of it, but I'm trying to look back to. I don't want to test out the machine. Like, I'm not going to open up YouTube while this is happening. This is another thing that's very resource heavy. I mean, I could just to see what it would do, but well, you can see that it doesn't. That does not snap really fast. So if I was to open up what I think I'll do is disconnect my remote desktop now and just let it work. I can actually still get a, well, no, I can't now because I'm fixing to switch off of that. I was thinking, oh, I can see what's going on my live stream, but no, not as soon as I change my scene. So now what I want to do, let's see, I'll just go ahead and close that app too. Oh, yeah, see, my machine that I'm streaming from, Crusader's using 18 to 21% of my CPU, just sitting there running Crusader, and so I'm not going to run that right now. But I am going to open up my, I forgot I meant to close that as soon as I got it up and going and made sure that my stream was, see, I opened up that Crusader. I do it because I use it all the time, but also so that I could see that my backup file for my live stream is being written, and I like to be able to just glance over there and see that it's being written the whole time I'm working. But the last few days, something's gone crazy with Crusader. I don't know, it must have been an update. My machine's just updates silently, so I'm guessing it was an update. Okay, there's lots and lots to be done. So, but one thing is, I didn't have any trouble whatsoever, but I wasn't doing my remote desktop very long there that time. Oh, I did notice, I guess I completely forgot. This is one thing. I'll open it back up. Where is it at? Here's my remote desktop viewer that I like. If you hit connect, right here on that connect screen, this was on right here. There's a drop-down menu, and it said use server settings, and I thought, well, that could be higher than. I looked at what was there, and I said, okay, it could be higher than 24 bits. I don't know. So I started with 16 bits and logged in, and it was all blurry and crappy looking. It was too low, so I changed it to 24, and then I went to doing my video. So far so good. That could have been the thing I've always been doing and forgot. It could have, just went back to the default somehow. And I don't know about that. I don't think the use JPEG compression is, yeah, this might not work on all VNC servers, so I don't think I really turned that on. And I don't want it to automatically go to full screen. I like to pick and choose how I want it. That scaling, I think, would automatically do that. What I usually end up clicking that right there. Let's see. I'm not sure if that's the same thing. Oh, that's the full screen one. Oh, you have to be logged in. I think it's that other little rectangular thing I always click on to make it fit within my little window here, but I'm not sure, so it doesn't matter. It's not hard to do that. But so this one I would use if I could, and then here's TigerVNC. It has some settings, but it's real. different. Allow JPEG compression. Oh, huh. Well, that's the default, and that may actually use less resource, less bandwidth. Maybe that's why it works better. I don't know. Because it does work better. It doesn't lag near as much. And see, the compression is on auto select, and it's working good, so I'm not going to fix that, Security, that's all just on the defaults. And input, let's see, and I haven't changed that. That's on the defaults. In the screen, I've gone around and around trying to make it, it's like if I have it, like right now I have it resized to the same size of my screen, but the only thing is unless it's in full screen mode, it still doesn't fit. And resize the remote session to the local window. I've tried it just like that. It still doesn't fit. I haven't ever clicked full screen mode because I don't know how I would get out of it unless there's going to be a GUI button to click, and I didn't want to get stuck in it. The only way, if you get stuck like that, the only thing you can do is either shut down the machine you're viewing or reboot the machine you're on. Well, this is the one I'm doing a live stream on, so I wouldn't want to do that. And now I'm doing an update, so definitely won't play with that right now. But I thought I might go on their website and do a little research, as to how to, what's the ins and outs of this? Why am I not getting what I want out of it? But it's probably be better off just to have it like that, fit the local window. I'm going to do it like that right now because I remember doing that and it was closer to what I wanted. Let's see, yeah, there's you can't copy that. I was thinking that'd be a quick way to get to their website, but and I have several other viewers on here, some of them that I used to use, I think. Two of them I went ahead and installed all that I could find in the DNF repos, and the Fedora repos, I should say. DNF's the app that you use to install stuff with and update with. In the Fedora repos, and some of them didn't even run, so I need to go back. And now I know why I didn't have. I thought, why don't I have all those installed? Well, because two of them don't even run at all, and so I had figured that out and uninstalled them. They used to run in Fedora 14, but there was more. That's why I get confused, because there's even more to choose from. Let's see. Not Tiger Direct. I used to shop there all the time. That's where I used to just go there just to look at stuff. But that's where I actually used to be a reseller for them years ago. Sometime whenever I wanted to, when I was working on a computer for somebody, I could get a little bit of a discount. I don't think I ever resold any of their stuff. I had a website mostly selling sound gear and stuff. But I did buy parts from them and then resell them to somebody when I was working on a computer for them. And so I think I just charged them what I paid. But yeah, that's why I don't make any money. That's why I'm poor, and I use old, used, hand-me-down PCs. But that's how I got them. The reason, well, let's just go back to work. All right. Let's see. Download TeamViewer. Okay. Yeah, TeamViewer. I went and downloaded the portable version, and the only one I saw was the one I downloaded, and it was for Windows. The previous version has one for Linux, but it was only a 32-bit. Okay, so this is TigerVNC issues. Wiki. Let's go to the wiki. I'm sure it's full of instructions. Documentation. This one doesn't look like it has much on it. I don't think they've built their wiki page yet. Okay, let's click on issues. will not display at 00. Okay, I don't think anything about resolution or anything like that. Okay, I just thought, well, maybe there's something in the issues or something. Downloads, community. Now there's all those documentation. There you go. Now that's all that stuff I tried to do and tried to run it at portable mode, and it says you can do it in Windows or, but anyway, I tried all that and then I got into that error 1111 and got tired of messing with it. So usually there's too much documentation and easy to find on most of these things. There's no help on that page. Let's see. That's the only documentation I see, and that's just that stuff. So, I mean, I could look at VNC config. Okay, there's a. See. Let's see. Trying to think. Display. Yeah, display. Okay, there we go. They don't use the word resolution anywhere in this page. This might be where I could find the answer to that question, that problem I had. Connect host port. There's only the word error is only used one time on this page, so no. Okay, so this thing, I suppose I could say settings, TigerVNC Viewer settings. Let's see if we can find anything in there. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, no, I could have went there from that other page I was on if I'd have paid attention, because I know that was in the list. I remember that. Okay, let's see. DPI. Fit. No fit the window. Window. Maximize viewer window. I'll start full screen mode. Let's see. Okay, full screen mode. That was one of the things. You can scroll by bumping the mouse against the edge of the screen. Now that's a feature I didn't think it had. There's one viewer that I just hadn't mentioned it yet, but there's one that I use in Bane 6 or is it 7 and 8 out there in the garage, and those monitors are old CRT monitors that I had out there, and they display a lot smaller and square instead of widescreen like what I'm displaying in here. And I used to check my email and stuff remotely like that, being out in the garage. I would have this machine running in here, and I could just move the mouse over to the right or up or down or left and right, and it would just page around. And I don't remember the name of that viewer, but and I don't need that function, but it would be better than what I was doing yesterday, is having to grab those bars and go back and forth. But it says you can do that with it in full screen. But it wouldn't be necessary if I tell it that option that says make it fit this resolution, which the resolution on that machine is the same as this one anyway, but I just want to know that I can get out of full screen. I've got one of those viewers. I think it's that same viewer, the one that you can just bump the edges and it'll move. You also got to remember that there's only one way to get out of full screen mode if you get in it, and that is to the keyboard shortcut. Nothing that'll show you once you get in that I can find that'll show you, remind you what it is. You better write it down or remember it, because you're not getting out. And if you start hitting random shortcut keys, you'll do all kinds of crazy things. I messed up stuff on my main machine in here from out there in the garage. I messed up some settings, trying to remember the exit key to get out of remote, get out of remote desktop, just to get out of full screen mode. Okay, full screen. Well, it doesn't say anything about getting out, and that's the only time full screen is mentioned. Exit. Geometry. The viewer has a pop-up menu containing entries which perform various actions. It is usually brought up by F8, but this can be configured with the menu key parameter. Actions which pop up the menu can include switching in and out of full screen. Okay, F8. Quitting the viewer. Now that's fair. I've never seen one that used F8. That's your Windows defaulted to, well, it's not defaulted on the keyboard, but depending on where you're at as to what your shortcut keys do. But I always associate that with boot screen shortcuts on Windows, especially getting into BIOS. No, boot menu. Yeah, the alternate boot menu. Generating key events, e.g. sending Control-Alt-Delete. See, there you go. So, yeah, if you start hitting the wrong things, you might do something like that. Accessing options dialog, other various dialogues. Okay, this is the page I needed. I have to go find let's see, what did I put that in? Software. This is TigerVNC. Okay. I've got a long list of folders. I've been doing this for years and years, and so I've got. But these things always help me. There's so much I can't find things without searching anymore. It's hard to find the right folder to put stuff in anymore. VNC. And the one thing I really used to like about Firefox, when you were putting things in, you can still do it, but it doesn't work near as well as it used to. You could start typing out the letters of the folder you want, and it'll go to it. But it fights you because ever since they put in that smart mode where it tries to find it for you, and it's not very smart. And this has been years now, and it's still not very smart. Once in a while, it's like it's almost random. Once in a while, it'll find what I'm looking for, right, without me even hitting anything, But usually I've already hit the keys because that's just the way I'm still used to doing it. Okay. Vino is the one server that I like to. Not no VNC. Tiger, there it is. And that's the other thing it does. It gets wider according to which folder you're on. Well, you see what it makes it do? It goes nuts. You try to click somewhere, and instead of it taking your click, it jumps to refresh itself to go to the different width. If I could make that, and I don't know, there's an add-on to my browser that I wonder if I could fix that. Let's see, yeah, Tight and TigerVNC. There's an add-on, what's it called? That's it, Stylus. I use that on YouTube so that I can make my menus. I haven't done but one, and the main one I use all the time, and that's putting things in playlists. I like to make playlists and watch later and all that. I'll put it in watch later, and then when I watch it, I'll put it in a playlist. So if I could make that always stay full width, it'd be great. Just let it be up here at the top, full width. That'd be great. Okay, so F8. Let me write that on my notes. Let's see, VNC, Tiger, and Vino, F8. Okay, where am I going to put F8? I'm just going to put F8 right up there at the top. Maybe I'll remember why I wrote F8 up there. There's no room to write any more stuff. I think I may have found the answer to me, being scared to get in and into that I know I can get out of full screen mode. And so there we go. Let's better go check on our speaking of remote desktop. Well, let's try it this time. Let's see, options, and I don't think you can get into full screen mode over all monitors. How many monitors do I have? I only got one. Oh, well, if you were on a laptop, you'd have more than one monitor. Yeah, so I'll leave it. I don't want it to be resized. How come it didn't take my setting? Go to full screen mode, because I should be able to do F8. Oh, wait. I should be able to use F8 to go in and out of full screen mode. We'll try it that way. Okay, we'll connect now. Gave myself a hard password to remember and type. Oh, I forgot to change that. I think I'll change that unless it's finished with its up. No, it's still installing now. Oh, it's cleaning up after the installations. Okay, now, well, I'm not going to try hitting any shortcuts in that terminal. I'm going to go to a different desktop. Now I'll hit F8. Oh, there it is. Okay. Full screen, exit viewer, resize window to session, Control Alt, send F8. Send, Control Alt Delete, refresh screen, options, connection info. Okay, so there we go, full screen. Okay, now then, yeah, and F8 will bring it back again. Okay, cool. That it's really simple. If that's the only way to do something, it's if you don't have a GUI option where you can just hover at the top, watch it be there. Hover around, usually at the top in the center, or sometimes at the bottom of apps, and it brings up a little menu, and it doesn't have that. Then it just makes it really hard on somebody. Most people, unless you have a ironclad memory for all those sort of things like keyboard shortcuts and stuff. I use them constantly, but the ones that I use all the time, I remember. They're kind of ingrained into my fingers. I don't think my brain even gets involved anymore. But I don't have them all memorized, that's for sure. I'm trying to reload my preview, make sure everything's working on my stream. It's taking forever. I think I did it once and it didn't seem to move. Oh, there we go. And that's one thing about this little old 1.6 gigahertz laptop. I think that's the reason it takes so long. It just can't quite handle it. Okay, so there's my, still working away, but just going and changing my, let's see, where is that personal? Quite sure. Maybe it's in administration. Power management is one thing. Then the screensaver. Actually, it might just be the power management, because put computer to sleep never. Display to sleep when inactive. This is a desktop. I want to say never. That is so aggravating, and my mom don't know what to do, to get it working again. Okay, and then when the power button is pressed, ask me. When the suspend button is pressed, you can't say ask me, but that's fine. My keyboard has all that stuff on it, and I have so many buttons on this. It's an HP multimedia keyboard. It's from around I don't remember exactly when I got it. I had two of them, and I just in a year or so ago started using the second one. I bought them, within a year of each other. Paid like $12 for them. They're the best keyboard I've ever used, but they got lots and lots of buttons. Has a connect button, big connect button in the middle for back in the dial-up days. And you had most of them were already programmed, but some of them you had to program them like to what application you wanted it to work with. And it worked. Every button worked in Windows 98 and XP, and then when I first got on Linux in 05, some did, some didn't. But as the years went by, pretty much every button will work. And some of them you have to program them. But there's a standby button. I used to hit that by accident, and there's one that would shut it down. And and I don't use them hardly at all anymore. But I love the volume knob. It's a big old turning knob. I use it constantly. Sometimes I'll use the CD. The CD pause and play buttons will work. And some media apps. I don't think they work in VLC. I can't remember. Anyway, sidetrack. Okay, do nothing. AC power. Yeah, well, this is not a laptop or anything, so yeah. And just like that. Okay, so there's not much actually to change in there. I must be just missing screensaver. And I just installed it yesterday, so I know I didn't turn it off, and I don't want it on her machine. Well, and I like them. I still think they're really neat, but there it is. But they do use up resources, You see, it's supposed to lock. We don't want to lock the screen. Activate the screensaver when the computer is idle, and it's on blank screen. I'm going to put it on random so that it'll at least know if it does decide to activate. No, I'm going to put it on Cosmos. That's prettier. And you can, well, actually, this one doesn't show that. I always go up to 2 hours anyway, but then I'm going to turn it off. But sometimes, I guess it's when updates happen once in a while, these things will go back to their defaults, Or maybe if you have you have to hard shut down the computer, that may be what causes it sometimes. But then the power management, that's usually what I do is go to Power Manager from the screensaver. But yeah, I'll just turn it off. But anyway, all I was going to say, you could tell it to play a slideshow of your local pictures, and she might like that, but actually it's not in there, and I guess this one won't do it. But anyway, since this machine is not the powerhouse it once was, just because it's old, I'm not going to give it anything extra to do. But, we're done. Okay, no errors whatsoever. Good deal. So now it's time to start, setting up the machine. Samba, VM, all kinds of stuff. I mean, you can sample what was done there. It's 3 rows of stuff though. LibreOffice. Okay. And I like to save it as a text file so I can refer to it later. This one will do that. Make terminal. Save contents. Hey, I never saw that Make terminal would do that. So I'm going to go to Documents, and I'm going to make a new folder. 27 info. That's how I generally do it. And save it as a text file. And I should be able to, I had highlighted it because I thought I was going to have to copy and paste it into a document, but that should have done it for me. Yeah, I don't have Crusader yet, so I got to use that. And documents, there we go. the file manager. Yeah, they did a nice little text file. Oh, wait. Yeah, it was. Okay, so it looked just like what was at the bottom, so I thought it hadn't saved the whole thing, but it did. It saved everything from the beginning to end. And one reason I do that is it helps me to save. Of course, I know that command, but once that I have copied and pasted, I can save it. And I'm going to change the settings here in this app. I've done it 100 times recently in the live version. Come on. There. Oh, if I let go, it goes away, but if I hold down the mouse, then it stays. I think that might be because I'm in remote desktop. I don't think it did that before. Show hidden and backup files. And I kind of hesitated there. I thought, well, this is for Mom, but I won't be able to use it without it. And she doesn't fiddle around with stuff, so I think I've never had her. I've had her been using Crusader. She doesn't really know how to use these other file managers anyway anymore because she uses Crusader when she does use a file manager, and she hasn't broken anything, so. Ask before moving files to trash. That's a good idea. You can always accidentally do that. Display. Size. Date. Come on. Date modified. Owner. Yeah, owner is the best. Those are the main ones. Tuesday, March 22nd. Let's see. Today at 9:25 a.m. Tuesday, March 22nd. I'd prefer the numbers, but I don't like them in reverse. 2018, 327. That's actually okay, I think. That's AMD CT. Yeah, that'll be alright. It's kind of weird, but columns. Name, size, type, date modified, date access, owner. You can even do SC Linux context here in Fedora. I don't really understand all that anyway, so I've had to fool with it some, just copying and pasting commands to try to fix files that wasn't labeled right. I know what that is. Local files only. Show text in icons. Always. Show thumbnails. Local files only. Yeah, usually you can't do it on. Well, it takes a long time to bring them in from remote drives, from network drives. Yeah, I'll just leave that like it is. Media, CD audio, no application. Well, I want to put VLC on there. Open an auto run prompt. Ask what to do. They used to always say, of course in Windows it was really dangerous, but they used to always tell you, turn off anything to do with auto run, but it also gets to be a pain sometimes if you want it to. As long as it just says, do you want to do it? If you got enough sense to say no, if you never heard of that app before and you didn't click on it. Action, no applications found. Okay. And of course, when you used to have to use a CD with games or software on it in Windows, then you wanted it to prompt you, like never prompt for programs or media insertion. And a lot of times now you might use well, you don't. I'm rambling today. Okay, that ought to be good enough, but it won't take effect until I close it and open it back up. But this is all finished, so I can close the terminal here. Oh yeah, I need to actually get on the machine to see how well it's really gonna. See, it's kind of acting slow now. And I think that is not that the machine is that slow, it is that I'm on remote desktop. And used to, remote desktop would work so well, I would completely forget I was on remote desktop. But it's gotten, I don't know, I guess, the resolutions are the same as they were. It's just a different newer operating systems, so I don't really get it. But I'm going to have to figure out my plan for installing just what she needs, and not. If I use my scripts, it'll be thousands of apps. I don't have any. I started trying to make a script of just my favorite, 10 or 20 apps, but I didn't get very far because I can't remember them. I only have about 5 or 6 in there, and it doesn't get you going very good. As a matter of fact, it's missing things that are needed to get it all right. So, and if you just go to the graphic app installer, DNF, drag over here on this, then you'll be more sure to get all the dependencies that way. And sometimes if you just install one app, well, like for instance VLC, it's got some plugins that are pretty cool, and I'll see them in the GUI, but I won't remember them to put them in there separately, But so let's see, updater. Yeah, now if the updater was on now, it would say no updates. Okay. Well, I like that terminal. That's something. I think that is something new in Make Terminal. I think they added that because I don't think it's even in Fedora 26. Open up. One thing I do need to do. Let's see. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. I think I will switch. As bad as it looks, I'm going to switch to camera mode because I want to be on the machine, seeing how it's running. And then I'll go on into all the other stuff. And I want to get her, get it synced. The Firefox, I'll get it synced and get her their add-ons that I have in her Firefox that I put in the laptop. Kind of got her all updated with that, and I joined Firefox Sync for her and all that stuff. So yeah, as far as doing my work, I'll use a remote desktop, but as far as testing the machine to see how well it runs, I need to be on it. Okay, so to get out of here, gotta say F8. There we go. Exit full screen. You could just say exit viewer. That might be a smart way to do it too, because then, when you got your machine and that viewer, then you might click on the wrong thing. There we go. That was the viewer. Okay. Now I need to go to camera 2. There we go. Now I'm going to get on the machine, and as I'm doing that, I think I'll reload my preview over there. Okay. Oh, I thought, why does that look so good? Well, because I'm on the machine. It gets me confused. What you're seeing and what I'm seeing throws me in circles sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I can see what I just did. That's how far behind it. But I have it like 30 seconds behind on purpose. Okay, it's all working. So here I am. I'm going to test out. I'm going to well, let's see. I think I will go ahead and go right to sync. Let's see. I guess it's there. Let's see. Yeah, sign in. And I think it doesn't show your. Yeah, it'll. You probably won't be able to read it anyway. But I got to get her. Where is it? I don't know where I put. I have to find her. Yeah, I think I put it somewhere else. Okay. Password for this. Ran my keyboard into the mic, which might mash buttons and cause trouble. Okay. That's pretty weird. Type. Well, some of my typing mistakes are so they're not what I'm thinking in my head whenever I'm typing. Somewhere there's a disconnect between my brain and my fingers. Make sure it worked. Ah, yes. I have to go into Gmail and confirm that. I haven't set up Gmail. I'm going to go ahead and say save because I think it would have told me if I put it in there wrong, but they want to make you confirm it. Okay. I haven't set up any of the browser stuff. Get rid of that bookmarks toolbar. It's really, I don't like it. I'm not used to it, and it's throwing me in circles. Library. I don't think that is of any use. What's that? Sidebar. That's no use. Extra spaces for nothing. History tabs. Find. I guess that's find on the page. I always just use Control F on my keyboard. She probably wouldn't. She'd think that was a web search probably. The zoom, I use the keyboard too, but I don't know if she ever looks up there, but we'll see. Email link. Print. Now that would be some things she might use. And print. Ready to go. I don't know why I'm doing this. It may all get changed when I do the and I don't usually put the bookmarks icon up there because on mine when I have so many and the word's right up there, that it will hang up. It won't work. I have to, as a matter of fact, if I click the bookmark icon or the words up here, bookmark like that, it will hang up my browser, and sometimes I'll have to force close it because I have so many. Just because of how many bookmarks I have is what it is. I mean, it doesn't do it on one very few bookmarks, but I hit Control Shift O, and that does it. I guess it'll work. Yeah, it worked in remote desktop. I'm gonna say, does that work? Oh, I'm not on remote desktop, so yeah, that would work. Okay. Now what I got to do is go to Gmail. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I hate that pocket thing. There. Now that, what's this? Page actions. I don't like that either, really. Can I remove it? No. I liked it better when the, what's that? Verify your account. Yeah, I'm working on it. A little explanation point, a little orange caution thing. Yeah, I'm trying to get to... Well, the home page I don't think goes to Google, so let's swap those places with that. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, the home page is not Google. I guess if I go to google.com, okay, now I can sign in. I'll set the home page later. Actually, if I'll just get it synced, all that'll be done. Okay. Now I've got to find that information. There. Okay. So about that. Okay, that worked. Save that one. Now we can go to Gmail. Oh, it's a separate, it's got its own little spot there. Now, yeah, now you're getting to see why it takes so long to set up a computer for somebody else when not, you know, they can't do anything at all for themselves except for just the basic, you know, shopping and stuff like that. Let's see, confirm sign in. Alright, now. Okay, Firefox is connected. Syncing will begin momentarily. Okay. They both say that now. Well, the one that was already open says that. Okay, so now I got to go back to. Yeah, I can go to. I want to go to the sync settings is what I want. Maybe if I go to. There we go. There. Okay, here it is. Firefox account. I want bookmarks. Okay, it's already set the way it was before. Yeah, bookmarks. Okay. Yeah. What happened? Oh, it's installing my add-ons. They're popping up. Those add-ons always pop up pages. Tell you, thanks for installing this so-and-so. Now, I don't know about AdBlock Plus. I don't know if it does its settings. I may have to go check its settings, but I'll give it time to do it first. It should, because I have should have settings. Okay. Yeah, all that stuff. Since the settings are all saved, you know, syncing should get me all set up. It should. So I won't go messing with any of that until after. Yeah, I shouldn't even have to do the home page. Oh yeah, you started in Google. It did it already. Okay, so now when I click home, it should do it for me. She doesn't use her Gmail in, you know, the website. She uses it in Thunderbird. Of course, I won't set that up until the very last thing. Yeah, it went there, but it's not logged in yet. Should be able to just log in. Let's see. I can't remember. There. Yeah. I think. Yeah, that's it. Okay. It hasn't set the font sizes and all that. I don't know if I'm going to have to do that manually or what. They're really small. I'm going to wait a little bit and see. Now, there's the add-ons, but they're not in the right place. So I may have to do the font sizes too. So I'll go ahead and do the customize again. Let's see. There. It's probably all of her add-ons that I wanted for her. Now, I'll go to YouTube and I'll click on my profile. Oh yeah. Would YouTube send you notifications? Never allow notifications. There we go. And let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the bookmarks toolbar so I can get to my. Oh, now it's got 2 most visited. Yeah, that when you start syncing stuff, seeing it's also got Now it's got duplicates. I'm going to have to clean that up. It's got duplicates of all the original Fedora links. They're in there twice now. I hate that. That's not syncing. That's backing up. I didn't sync it. They're not the same. Yeah, I still don't use bookmark sync. Ever since I lost all my bookmarks, I'm syncing them one time, a while back. I just back them up manually once in a while. Yeah, okay. So you just can't view your live stream. So I'll click on my last video, and it seems to work okay. It's not fast. See, it took a while there to come up into full screen, and it's I don't know, I'll just kind of fiddle around with it, but I think it is a noticeably slower install than it was on the USB stick, just like I've been saying that seems to me is the case. And yeah, I got no sound because I don't have the speakers plugged in or anything. So this was my last stream. I was working on this thing, and I tried, I thought, well, maybe it would look better instead of just a blurry close-up of the monitor. I put me and the monitor in there, but I don't know. Neither one's very good. But you can, if you can't skip forward, like if it hangs up and takes forever, then you know you're really taxing the machine or your internet connection's messed up. But I know my connection's fine, so, well, and it's working pretty good, so. So really just not crazy, you know, jumping around, but just kind of a normal amount of moving around. If that works okay, then it should be all right. I'm definitely not going to continue building this system up until I feel like it's going to run okay. And I'm pretty sure I want to go ahead and install. There's a playlist of mine. Go ahead, an old playlist. Go ahead and install. Now these videos are really low resolutions. They were done with the webcams. They were old at the time. This was in 2009, and you know I guess they've upped the resolution so much. They didn't used to look quite this bad when I'd watch them. They've upped the resolution so much. I bet if I changed it to away from HD, it wouldn't look near as bad. But they're so pixelated, they got square pixels whenever you make it full screen. That's about as big as it could possibly be stretched to right there, the preview of YouTube. And it's still pixelated with square pixels. I think they did do something. Of course, I'm looking at it the way you're looking at it on the, I don't know what it looks like, but no, that looks better. I guess that one was that was actually one of those auto edits by Google Photos. Yeah, it actually reduced the quality. Now it looks like what I expect it to look like. It's got some, when you move around a lot, then it does get square pixels again, though. Oh, now it's not on HD. Oh, it was on HD because that thing was kind of basically it was made as an HD video, but the sources were all low quality webcam shots. So now it doesn't show HD. It's to whatever size it really is. So anyway, that was me. I was replacing the wheel bearings on that passenger side of my Blazer, my 76 Chevy Blazer 4x4. I made a whole series on that. I never did edit those either. I got some sort of notices. Your notifications are live here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's 109 videos in that. I did that I worked on that project for 2 weeks and shooting video the whole time. That's why, the main reason it took 2 weeks. That was the biggest video. I'd always wanted to do something like that, you know, and it was the biggest one I did. And I had big plans to edit it all down. I didn't put them on YouTube for years because Wanted to edit them all down and even try to increase the resolution with some software and stuff, up convert it and stuff. And finally decided, I'm either going to put it up there or I'm not. And I made a big mistake when I was uploading it. I had they all are named the same name. And the only way I can see to fix it is I ended up later, once Google Photos came out, re-uploading them all with their real names. They're all named, so I can have them in order, and they're named as 1 through 100 and something, and however they're numbered, I don't remember. They're named like by day and each day and stuff like that. And but I had it set in my settings. I didn't realize what it was doing, and and so what it made happen is every one of those videos got the same name, and so it was almost impossible to sort them. And plus, they all have the same name, so why would anybody even click on the other one? So nobody ever watches them. So the only thing I can see to do is delete them all and then re-upload them from Google Photos, because I have them in there in the right way now. But that's one thing. That's a thought right there. Let's see what Photos looks like. But it plays that it's playing it fine, and everything's still navigating okay. That stopped because I took off to go get some tools or something. So I do want to see how. I know the sound works fine on this machine, except for it did do something odd the last time I had the sound plugged in. It popped when it was booting up and stuff, really aggravatingly. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to manually set the font sizes and stuff. I guess I'll do it, because it looks like it's just not going to go into preferences there, see what the fonts, let's see. No, they're set to 16. Well, let's see if maybe they're diminished. They're not at. It shows 100%. That particular home page, I messed it up. Got it off of the. I accidentally hit two keys at once when I was hitting my controls. But for some reason, this page, it's on 110%, but they're too small to read. But then when I go to Google, it looks like it was probably okay. No, they are small looking. So maybe I have it set wrong. Fonts, let's go in here. Yeah, I don't have the minimum font size. I'll set it to 16. All of them, yeah, they're not all set to 16. Now it'll probably be all right. Yeah, that's more like it. Still might not be big enough for Mom. You get too big, then it won't. It's not big enough. Let's try it one more time. We'll go up to like 18. I think. Let's try 18. Maybe too big. Then things won't fit in their boxes on the web pages. It's the problem with doing that. If you get too big, I mean. Yeah, now it's looking funky. They're jamming up together, and you can't read it right. It took away the spaces between the lines. Try 17 then. 60 may be as big as you can get away with. You know what? That may be what's wrong with mine. It may be set pretty big. That's about as big as I think you can get away with. It's 17. Mine, I might be set bigger. And what I always do, and you can just do that, and it doesn't do that to it if you hit, zoom in and zoom out. I'm just hitting Control plus and Control minus. Half the time mine ends up staying on 110% so that I can see stuff. Yeah, that's what I'll have to do, is leave it on 17. I keep wanting to switch over. I think I'm on remote desktop. I'll switch over, and that's kind of neat. The color is something actually nice looking there. the color looks sort of 2D when you hover over it. It's always, you know, on the, like Fedora 23, it changes to a different shade of blue, but it doesn't look 2D like that. I like that. That was the coolest thing about Genome Desktop, was all the 2D and 3D stuff. I didn't use the 3D because it's too resource intensive, but I liked the 2D stuff. And then they're just more and more of these desktops they're looking like little kids' drawings and just stickmen, you know. And they actually do that on purpose. It's just ridiculous. With all the artful abilities, why do you want to go backwards? Okay. What was I up to now? Okay, so I've got it Firefox set up pretty well. Oh, I said I wanted to go to I don't think I ever said it. I want to go to Photos and see how well it can do Photos. Photos uses quite a bit of resources there. So there's some sort of little, it's a picture. I didn't know if that was a video or a picture. That's just me. And some screenshots. Let's see. I don't think there's any video. There's only one video. Oh, there's one. Just a video around my room here. What I usually do when I'm watching a video on here is, oh, it says it's not supported. How weird. Oh, it may not be. Should be. I used to have a lot of trouble with that when I first got on Photos on Linux. Wouldn't work. That's made with her tablet, I bet. Could be that it's not supported. We'll see. But she doesn't really use it. She doesn't. I put everything in there for her that's in there. Let's see. But she can, like, you know, on her tablet, when she wants to look through her pictures, they're actually coming from here. Most of them are. So, if she ever decides to, you know, get in here and use this, I want it to work. What was I going to do? See photos you're in. Yeah, okay. Now, assistant, I don't want to do that right now. Albums, photo books. Oh, I wanted to look and see. I need to look and see if that. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's activated. Open 264 video codec. I'm not going to install Flash unless I just really, you know, she can't do things she needs to do, because I've been doing fine without Flash on my browser for a couple of years now, and probably she won't need it. Legacy. Oh. Dr. Web Antivirus Link Checker. Yeah, that was pretty cool. There's another one I used more than that, though. I used, but that's an extension. It's not an add-on, though. She doesn't really remember to do that anyway, though. That's the thing about that. Themes, but I used to use that and something with a V, but it's not even, I don't think it works anymore. Themes, I don't ever change those. Let's see. I'm looking to add block plus preferences. Block additional tracking. Block social media tracking. I don't want allow acceptable ads. Yeah. Thank you for telling me that. Uh-oh. Now it's not working. That gave it a little trouble. It almost quit working. Yeah. Oh, block social media icons tracking. Yeah, I don't like that. And I don't, this acceptable ads, they skew your search results and make them deceptive, so I don't leave that on anymore. I used to. Yeah, only allow ads without third-party tracking. You still get some ads even with that turned on like that. Okay. That was what I wanted to check on there, though. Let's see. All right, now close that. Oh, I think I missed something. Oh, there we go. Ad block warning removal list. I always used that, but I think you have to put a list in there. There. I think that's all you have to do. Used to, you have to go look through the lists and everything, but I don't think you have to do that anymore. And I think it helps quite a bit, or it used to. Of course, all these settings and things that you can't see what I'm doing. Well, part of it, I was kind of glad because I was having to type in her email address and stuff. But now, of course, I am still kind of trying to see how well the machine runs, but I also don't want to minimize the bad video as much as possible too. Okay, so that didn't tell me anything. Oh. Tools, add-ons, plugins, that's what I need. Okay, yeah, plugins, I've only got one. I don't have anything else. Now there are some others that I use in my browser. I'll have to do remote desktop just to see what it is I have on mine and what's not on hers. But the plugins are probably the thing. I think maybe there may be a plugin or two that I got from Linux that will play, open source plugins. That might play some Flash. I used to use those, but that may be what I have. That'll play some some Flash, but not all of it, basically. I guess I should look, because I said I haven't used Flash. I don't think I have. I think all of those are so outdated I don't use them anymore. Okay, so yeah, let's try that. That video won't play. Okay. What I was thinking, there's a thing that keeps popping up in mine that says archive. Do you want to archive screenshots and stuff? And that'd be good for her because she don't know what any of this is about. It's stuff I did basically in the maintenance of her machines, her tablet, and her. Well, that one will play. That's one of her. I won't play that one since that's her and my sister and stuff. But it will play. It was fixing to look like. Okay, so home again. Let's see. Gonna have to take a break. I'm not quite sure. Let's see. This thing ought to be rebooted after its first update. That's for sure. So I'm gonna reboot it. Let's see. That KRFB. It made me. It wouldn't let me log in, and it's done that ever since I've started using it. Well, when I very first started using it, you could save your unattended password, and it would still be there. But sometimes it would go away, and I wasn't quite sure why it was doing that. And now, and it may be, and I thought, oh yeah. Anyway, I had to go put it in again. I think it blanks it is what it does, but you can't use blank password to log in though with the apps. So. I got to figure out. I want to. If I can't get it to save it, then oh well, I can't. But the other thing is, yeah, startup apps. I think it's trying to use the KDE Keyring app, and so I want to stop it from running. Because I just want the make keyring app. Because boy, once you get that set up, then it drives you nuts. It doesn't work. It tells you that it will save passwords for you and put them in and type them in for you the next time, but it won't. At least I can't figure it out. But the mate does. Blueberry. I don't have any Bluetooth for this adapters for this machine. That's what Blueberry is. And Bluetooth. OBEX agent. I don't have any Bluetooth adapters. I've got Bluetooth on the phones and tablets, but not on any desktops. Okay. Yeah. Genome keyring, or it's still using genome keyring. Unless that's what's popping up. Let's see if there's a KDE keyring. If it is, I'll tell it to not start up. Maybe it'll stop me in my confusion here. I already tried that after I already made, went ahead and set it up, and then it didn't make any difference on that Fedora 26 system. Okay. Audio screensaver, it's still clicked to start up. We don't want the screensaver to even start up. SC Linux, SPICE, SSH. No, there is no KDE anything. So that keyring is the genome keyring that's talking to me, and I guess I'm gonna have to do what it says to get it to quit coming up every time I start KDE. CarFB. The live install assistant setup is still there. I'll leave that alone for a while. Maybe it's not quite done with its work. I would think it would go away once you were finished setting up. Okay, so all I took out was screensaver, Blueberry, which I have learned is Blueberry. You can click on it and say edit to find out what it is. Blueberry tray. Oh, well, I'm almost certain Blueberry is. I went and looked it up not long ago. I guess I should go look it up, make sure. But I'm pretty sure that it. I'll copy it and put it into. I'll do a quick Google search here. Make sure it's to do with Bluetooth, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't have my search thing in here. Why not? What do I gotta do to get that back? I still use it constantly. Firefox is not your default browser. Well, what is? On this system, it should keep it up to date. What is... We have 5901. Okay, so I actually want it to be default. Okay. And I don't want, like when I install Chromium and all that, I don't want it taken over. Search. Oh, you can't search this page. Oh, yes, you can. Search bar. Search bar. Use the address bar. No, I want search bar added to the toolbar. There we go. So it didn't do all of my settings the way I wanted them, or else I hadn't done it. Don't need to search for eBay or Twitter. Take those out of there. Okay, that ought to do it. Okay, now I'll leave that alone for right now. It's thundering a little bit. It had a little thunderstorm this morning, and I was actually on the tablet putting some stuff in the grocery cart, and so I thought, well, I don't need my machine running if the lights flicker out. It won't hurt the tablet. It's battery, but I didn't want my machine to get shut down because I don't have a battery UPS backup. So I shut it down, but I didn't. Nothing happened anyway. But you never know. Just when I think it'll be all right, it'll happen, and it might even cause you some kind of trouble. All right, LMDE2. Double Bluetooth icons. Guess I should have said in Fedora. System tray icon for Blueberry icon. Okay, that's a different desktop. Yeah, okay, so it's Bluetooth. I can see that much. What just happened there? I hit something wrong. I was trying to search in there and I ended up down at the bottom doing the search this page. There we go. Okay, there's the app. Blueberry Desktop. A lot of times these pages where you you can download the app and stuff, it doesn't tell you what it is. Yeah, Blueberry Bluetooth configuration tool. That's what it is. Okay. Very good. That's what I thought it was. I'll just put that in the, and then I'm going to rename it again to make sure that I know what it is next time. Of course, this is in her system. Oh, now, well, she has plenty of shortcuts, see, I mean, bookmarks. There. That's good enough. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna leave it the way I had it set. I mean, in normal use, it's fast, it's good. So I'm beginning to feel encouraged. So I turn off all the Bluetooth stuff and I turn off the screensaver. Because if you don't, I had recently had trouble with it coming back on, even though I turned it off. You know, maybe it happens I don't know. Maybe when you hard shut down or something. I don't know what. It comes back on. Something goes back to the defaults. You know. That little, well, I'll fix that later, but I'll show you something in my toolbars, or what do they call them? Panels. Okay, I'm going to reboot it. Actually, it's thundering and it's raining. Not too hard. I need to take a break, so maybe this is the best thing to do. I was thinking about running off and leaving this running, but it was silly to do that, really. I'll turn it. I will just go ahead and turn. It's thundering a little in the background. It may get closer here soon, or it may just get one crack of lightning that'll knock us out here. And so I think I'll go take a little break and come back after a little bit when I feel more like we won't get knocked out by a lightning strike. Not that we'd get. I got all my electronics protected, but you know, our power goes out, everything shuts down. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I think I'll just go ahead and quit my KRFB. I'm not so sure if it might give it a hard time to shut down the system with it running. Okay, instead of restart, I'm going to shut down. There we go. Now I got to get back to my machine. Well, let's make sure it shuts down okay before I take off. But I'll get back to my machine and shut everything else. Shut it down. I guess I'll probably shut it down for a little bit. I need to reboot everything anyway to give it, get its memory all emptied out and refreshed and everything. The cameras, everything. So, boy, that thing is loud. That's such a relief when it quits running. Of course, it's right here, 2 feet from me, sitting up on the table, so... Only good thing is that all the vents are pointed away from me, at least. But I'm trying to check my stream. And but it wouldn't. That laptop is just not going to go very fast. So. Go ahead and stop it. So it's working fine. I'm going to shut it down. Of course, it's on battery. It wouldn't get shut down with the electricity went out, but it needs to rest. So I'm going to get off my stream, shut everything down, reboot everything, kind of wait for the little storm to go through, and then I'll probably be able to come back. I don't think we're not supposed to have any long-lasting storms today, but we are are having some rain today, a little bit of thunder. All right, so yeah, and I don't think I need to keep on. I can do the rest on remote desktop, so I can actually show what I'm talking about too. So, all right, I'll be back in a little bit.